It all started when my grandpa passed and left me this scruffy 12-acre spot on Lake Evergreen in Montana. Nothing fancy, just a beat-up cabin creaking by the water's edge, waves slapping the dock like old friends chatting, and me, Ethan Cole, a 28-year-old engineer fresh out of school with loans piling up like snowdrifts, thinking, hell, this could be my quiet escape from the grind. But damn if value didn't turn that piece into a battlefield. Fast forward a decade, I'd fixed her up, added solar rigs, a veggie plot, even a few hens clucking around for fresh eggs, turning it into my soul's recharge station, away from city noise and deadlines, until Silver Peak Development swooped in, slapping up fancy mansions around the lake, and suddenly my simple life was a blight on their polished paradise. Their HOA, Riverside Estates, didn't send welcome baskets. They sent Vivian Hart, the president, pulling up in her gleaming Lexus, all tailored suits, and that fake smile hiding a viper's bite, driven by this ruthless hunger to expand her domain, her husband's stake in Silver Peak fueling her to bulldoze anyone in the way of their empire. She didn't beat around the bush, stepped onto my porch that crisp fall morning, eyes appraising my cabin like it was junk, and said, "Mr. Cole, I'm Vivian Hart, head of Riverside Estates HOA, and let's be frank, your setup here clashes with our community's upscale vibe. How about we make this easy? I'll offer you $3 million to sell, relocate to somewhere more fitting." Her words laced with that condescending edge, like she was doing me a favor, but underneath it was pure calculation, knowing my land blocked their grand plans. Her motive clear as day. Greed wrapped in community standards, jealousy that I dared keep my roots while she chased endless control. I chuckled softly, handed her coffee she waved off, and replied, "Appreciate the chat, Vivian, but this is home, Grandpa's legacy, water rights and all, not for sale." Watching her mask crack just a hair, that tight nod as she left, scribbling on her card. "Offer expires soon, Ethan. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Her voice dropping to a whisper threat, leaving me with this gut twist, wondering if I'd just poked a hornet's nest, but deep down, feeling that spark of defiance, the kind that whispers, "This is yours. Fight for it." Weeks ticked by quietly at first, but then the hammer dropped. An envelope jammed in my door from Evergreen County Compliance, demanding an inspection for health hazards, tied straight to anonymous tips that screamed Vivian's handiwork, her way of wearing me down without dirtying her own nails. They rolled in like a posse. County Inspector Lisa Grant, looking reluctant in her uniform, two burly security guys from Safe Shores Patrol flexing like they owned the place, Deputy Hayes trailing with that fresh-faced unease, and Vivian lurking by the gate, arms folded, smirking like a director watching her scene unfold. Motivated by that personal vendetta now, seeing me as the stubborn fly in her ointment, her power trip escalating because rejection bruised her ego. Lisa rattled off violations, hens too close to the line by inches, solar panels unpermitted despite my old filings, garden runoff a threat, slapping me with $9,000 in fines, while the guards snapped pics obsessively, one muttering, "Step one's locked," their eyes darting to the lake like scouting treasure. And as they packed up, Vivian called out, "Standards protect us all, Ethan. Rethink that offer before it gets messier." Her tone dripping sarcasm, but I just nodded, phone recording the whole damn thing, my heart pounding with this mix of rage and resolve, thinking, if it's war you want, game on. That night, staring at the lake's ripples under the moon, doubt crept in. Had I underestimated her, this woman turning my haven into a pressure cooker? But Grandpa's words echoed, "Water rights are ironclad, son." So I rigged up trail cams, every angle covered, and sure enough, caught her goons sneaking back at midnight, staking markers, even letting my hens loose for evidence photos. Their whispers on tape about making it look bad. Pure sabotage. Her desperation showing, rooted in fear that my holdout could tank their secret resort dreams. Enter my neighbor, old Tom Whitaker, a grizzled mechanic with 50 years on the lake, knocking one dawn with coffee and a stack of faded deeds, saying, "Kid, you're sitting on gold. They tried buying you out years back for 7 Mile, but your estate said no. Vivian's hubby runs Silver Peak, Conflict City." His voice gruff with empathy, sharing how his son lost everything to a similar HOA scam downstate. Bankruptcy stealing their home, fueling Tom's quiet fury to help, adding layers to our bond, like a mentor passing the torch. Digging deeper, I uncovered the bombshell in Dusty County archives. My deed from '54 granted riparian rights, controlling a chunk of the lake and the easement for their whole subdivision's water line, meaning I held the keys to their infrastructure, a power they overlooked in their rush to gobble land. Fines piled to $50,000. Grass too wild. Truck improperly parked. Even Grandpa's faded sign cited. Inspections twice weekly now with deputies, labeled high risk, like I was some radical. But Deputy Hayes pulled me aside one dusk, whispering, "This stinks of setup, Ethan. Document it all. Complaints come in waves from the same crew." His honesty a lifeline, born from seeing too much small-town corruption. I fired back with legal holds, demanding they preserve every email, every note. Vivian stormed my gate the next eve, face flushed, barking, "Who do you think you are, playing lawyer? Withdraw this nonsense!" Her panic cracking through. That raw exposure of a bully cornered. But it only steeled me. My inner voice shifting from fear to fierce clarity, realizing this wasn't just about land. It was about standing against systems that chew folks up for profit. Tom dropped the nuke. A leaked memo outlining Silver Peak's $800 million casino resort vision, needing full shoreline, with Vivian's $15 million bonus if she forced my sale cheap, her greed now crystal, tangled with hubby's ambitions and a web of bribes. I crashed their HOA powwow, briefcase in hand, as Vivian preached to 50 residents about my threat to values, slides smearing my garden as a hazard. She declared, "This blight ends soon. We've invested too much to let one holdout ruin us," her voice triumphant. But I rose, heart thumping, and laid it out. Deeds, rights, the contract exposing her payoff. Room exploded, folks yelling, "What's this casino crap? Conflict much?" Vivian snapped, "We deserve growth, even if it means pushing selfish types aside." Her admission gold on my recorder, that electric moment of reversal, me walking out amid chaos, her grabbing my sleeve with a hissed, "You'll regret crossing us." But inside I felt alive, empowered, the tide turning. She went nuclear, filing for my arrest, claiming I threatened utilities. But I marched to Sheriff Kane's office with my arsenal. Timelines, footage of staged trespasses, the bribe tape where she offered Tom $800K to bail, saying, "Some fights you can't win against our resources." Her voice desperate on audio. Plus cams catching her contractors sabotaging the waterline, blaming me. Kane's eyes widened, muttering, "Holy hell, this is racketeering," calling feds. And dawn raids hit. Agents swarming Silver Peak HQ, Vivian's mansion, her cuffed in pajamas, face ashen as charges rolled. Fraud, bribery, tampering, her multi-state schemes exposed. That satisfying crunch of justice, like watching a house of cards topple. Me on the dock later, waves lapping, feeling Grandpa's pride, our community reborn with a voluntary group I advise, turning their resort site into a public trail, Tom helping his son rebuild. But here's the rub that lingers. Was Vivian just a monster, or a cog in a machine where ambition blinds folks to right and wrong, communities torn by greed versus roots? Makes you ponder, if push came to shove, would you bend for progress or hold the line? Ever faced down an HOA Goliath, or seen justice flip the script? Spill in the comments, share your battles with power plays and fairness. Did they deserve it, or is there gray? Like if this resonated, subscribe for more raw stories. Your take could spark the next one.